fuck. Sorry. I have absolutely fucked my neck. I went to the physio. You know what he told me? I've been standing up too straight. That's the problem. The upper part of my back, too straight. My posture is too good. Here I was thinking, you know, I'm 6'8", I'm the biggest cunt on the fucking planet. I need to have a good posture. I put so much effort into sitting up straight, standing up straight, thinking like that's not what's going to take me down. I know that I'm big, so I'm going to have back problems more likely than a normal person, so I need to stand up straight. And that's not going to be what takes me out. Physio fucking tells me I've been standing up too straight. What do you want, God? It's insane, man. Here's what I think. The problem is not you slouching. Everyone who has back problems, right? Everybody has back problems when they're like 80. I mean, with me, I'm fucking 26 and I've got terrible back problems, right? But I'm obviously an outlier, okay? Because I'm so tall. That's going to happen to me, yeah? You know, me being this tall is like you, dear listener, being obese. Yeah, it's fine. You can be fat, but you're going to have these problems that you shouldn't have until you're 60, okay? So get that shit sorted. You can fix that. You can go for a run. I'm fucked. This is my body forever. You can fix it. I'm jealous, okay? Now, what I was saying was the problem isn't actually, and you know, this goes for obesity as well. You know, if you're obese, obviously you're going to have lots and lots of health problems when you're older, much sooner than a normal healthy person. Now, the problem with the back problem thing, right, and all these diseases is the answer is not to live a healthier life. The problem here is not how healthy we are. The problem is not how well you sit or how badly you sit, how overweight you are, how underweight you are. The problem is not that. The problem is, and I know the solution, the problem is we live too long. And the answer is everyone needs to die by 28. You know, that's the answer to all of the world's problems. By 28, you have to die. I wouldn't have to worry about this if I was a peasant living in the Middle Ages. I would be in my late stage of life. 12 was middle age back then. That's why they called it the middle age. Because everyone was in their middle age. By the time you hit 10, you were like 40. You were going to die soon. Cunts died in childbirth. You had to have 7 kids just to make sure you ended up with 1. And I think we need to go back to that. You know, that's why the world's so bad. You know, that's why everyone's so angry on Twitter, because we're going to live until we're 80. We have to entertain ourselves. We need to manufacture problems. That's why I always get yelled at over fucking jokes. I don't want to deal with this shit for 60 more years. Let's be real. I'm going to live till I'm 100. As long as I don't get hit by a car or something, it is very likely that everyone in their 20s listening to this, unless you have a crazy lifestyle, you're probably going to live to 100. And I don't think that should be allowed. I think that at 28, you've got to go. That would fix the world. You know, I've got 2 more years left. I got a bunch more videos, a few more podcasts in me. You know, that's like, what's that, 100 more podcasts? That's enough. Episode 305 of the podcast, I think we can all agree that's enough. You know? If you're listening to this, how many more times do you really want to go down to the cafe to get your morning coffee? Not that many times. You know? If you're like 25, you're already getting a little bit bored. Let's really be real here. I think of food, I've eaten enough meals. By the time I was 21, I'd eaten all of the types of meals. And now I'm just going in circles. I got 60 more years of that, 80 more years. Fuck that, bro. We got to go by 28. And that's what it is. That when we were living in the Middle Ages, I reckon everyone was happier because everyone had a real problem to solve. Oh no, my sister died of sepsis. I don't give a fuck about what this comedian said on Twitter. I have the Black Plague. And that's when life was simpler. The good old days. I mean, I was never there, so I'm not exactly speaking from experience, but, you know, back in the day when you could get beheaded for stealing a loaf of bread, I think we need to go back to that. It's just that simple, you know? No one gives a fuck about being offended when everyone has the bubonic plague, you know? Women weren't out there cancelling cunts on Twitter. They were cancelling their own cunt having 9 kids in a row. And we have to go back to that. I'm sorry if this podcast is a little bit slow, but every time I yell or every time I speak fast or gesture, my neck canes. And that wouldn't be a problem if I was going to die in 2 years. Now, I'm not saying you need to kill yourself. I'm literally saying we need to bring back dangerous workplaces. And we need to stop medicine generally. You know? Back when I was like 8 years old, I almost died from asthma. Maybe that was supposed to happen. Maybe that should have, gone down. Back when my brother was 12, he almost died of eczema. The hospital saved him. Shouldn't have happened. You know, I think my parents would have been a lot happier if they had 30 children and they were gone by 28. My mum still has a mortgage. That should be a crime. If she was gone by 28, she wouldn't have to deal with that. Neither would you. I think this is starting to make a lot of sense. Who would give a fuck about wearing masks or quarantining or isolating if we didn't have to worry about old people at all? You know, if there was nobody over 30 in the world, do you really think we would care about any of this shit? I don't think so. Oh, I'm going back to uni as a mature age student. You wouldn't have to deal with those annoying cunts in your lectures, would you? You know? I have a question that's going to take 17 minutes for me to ask. Shut up, Grandpa! You know, if you were 30, you'd be old as fuck. That's what I think. And you know what? There would be no pedophiles. because if you fucked a 14-year-old, that's not a kid. That kid's basically 40. He's middle-aged. Oh, man. But that's what I'm saying, guys. We need to die by 28. I'm not saying we need to kill 28-year-olds. I'm not saying you need to kill yourself. I'm just saying that we need to bring back the general environment that we lived and worked in, where it was very, very unlikely for you to make it past the age of 20. You know, what happened to all of those days where, in England, classic example, in the industrial age, where you had kids working in smiths melting down iron and they were 9 years old. We need to go back to that. The times were simpler. People were happier. They died sooner.